It's your host Varian, hosting the Daily Snap Picks, the show where we pick the news. It is Tuesday, June 26th, and we are 8 a.m., and we're picking the news for 9 a.m. That's right, we're going to do this in about 20 minutes. Here are the articles, most shared articles on Facebook. So, starting with the first article, this is one that I skipped yesterday, but hesitantly, but it might make it today. Game of Thrones stars Kit Harington and Rose Leslie just tie the knot in real life. Pawn stars Richard Harrison, known as the Old Man. Okay. That's entertainment news. If the Game of Thrones makes it, it's going to be hard for two entertainment news articles to make it in a 5 articles newsletter. Use Narbard to bury them in demonetization. Okay, Trump advocates depriving undocumented. Okay, more Trump news. We skip Trump news here, just because he's all over the place. Harley to shift production out of U.S. to avoid EU tariffs. Wow, that is interesting. Do they really think these whole tariffs are going to last a long time? Hand declares victory. Yep, that made it to today's snap yesterday. Luckily, we aren't executing them. National Guardsmen face punishment for Facebook post on migrants. Okay, that's harsh. It's about a Facebook post. A news article about a Facebook post is pretty sad. Is that really? That's news? Hank Aaron on whether he would visit the White House. Nobody's there I want to see. More Trump news. Harley, stung by tariffs, shifts some production overseas. We're looking at that article on Bloomberg already. Landmark day for Saudi. Yep, that made it yesterday. We saw that yesterday. Barcelona plotting a hijack move. Okay, football. A new supervolcano is brewing under Massachusetts, Vermont, and New Hampshire. Interesting. An unexpected large blob of molten magma has been detected. Okay, that's scary. Okay, about tweets. David Hogg is seen in New York City with security guards. Around 10,000 police officers and says to guard Donald Trump to visit to UK. Yeah, right. NASCAR podcaster struck by car while jogging, suffers skull fracture. Oh, that's sad. Adam Langler puts rivalry aside to selflessly help concussed. Okay. Let's look at Reddit. American skydiver lets. Oh, yeah, that made it yesterday. Growing supply of marijuana in Colorado leads to lower prices. That's interesting. It doesn't really seem like news. FTC won't be neutral on net neutrality. Well, that's not really surprising. Signals to Internet is on the lookout for anti-competitive conduct. Network neutrality activists have been playing up doom and gloom scenarios of internet service providers blocking, throttling, and engaging pay. Now that FCC rules against those practices are gone, but while activists have suggested that all owners need to be transparent about their practices to escape enforcement, the FTC power goes beyond just pushing ISPs for not doing what they say are doing per FCC's high transparency requirements. The FTC also has the authority to go after any anti-competitive conduct. Okay. I mean, if there's nothing else, might be interesting. Bombshell study proves fracking actually fuels global warming. Okay, well, I think we already knew that. Doe drops 400 points as Trump. Okay, Trump. GOP candidate civil war was about slavery. Okay. I think this has been argued by a lot of people that the Civil War was about how the states organized themselves and not about slavery. Or it wasn't just about slavery, maybe is the way they would word it. So this doesn't seem new, like a new position, especially by a GOP candidate. This just sounds like a Republican position. Demanding House votes on net neutrality, open internet defenders gear up for nationwide day of advocacy. Interesting. Trump's tariffs on Canadian lumber are pricing Americans out of U.S. housing market. Yeah, that's Canadian news. Global news, Canadian news. The big picture, dining out in D.C. is getting tough for Trump officials. Not surprised. The NSA hidden spy hubs in 8 U.S. cities. What? Was it ATT's position? Okay, told the Intercept that he had no knowledge of surveillance at the 8 ATT buildings, but said he believed the core premises of the NSA. Well, I mean, I think people know they're being spied on. It's not news, it's more like facts. Wiretap rooms, NSA hidden spy houses in 8 U.S. cities. Okay, this is really set up as a conspiracy post, but it doesn't seem conspiracy-esque. Yeah, that was interesting. Canada to allow mail order marijuana sales. Well, if it's legal, it's legal. I mean, maybe. Race to watch Tuesday's primaries. Boston school superintendent reigns one day after lawsuit claims shared student immigration info with IC. Ooh. That's interesting. That's an interesting lawsuit. New Texas poll shows Ted Cruz will be worried about. Okay, more Trump. Trump admin emails indicate Pruitt tried to recruit oil execs for EPA jobs. Environmental Protection Agency administrator discussed hiring friends of his landlord. Isn't he an oil exec? That sucks. 15-year-old boy slashed in neck, dies running to hospital. Oh, police searcher group fairly stabbed 15-year-old boy in New York. Started hanging out with a group of older kids, so she insisted she was not involved in gang activity. At least 6 people involved in the attack. Fuck. That's fucked up. I mean, maybe doesn't seem like the most interesting story here about Pruitt. Well, the Boston lawsuit, maybe. All right, let's look at those. Let's see if there's anything funky on a different sentiment. Okay. Still more about Pruitt, I'm guessing. Using a climate model to project future global warming under 3 possible scenarios, ranging from business as usual, a draconian projected that under scenario global source would raise to warm about 0.8 between 1980 and 2017. Invited by proposed to testify the Kyoto was asked to evaluate how Hansen was faring 10 years later. In his presentation, deleted Hansen's scenarios B and C, the ones closest to reality. Okay. So, as if there were draconian emissions cuts. It seems as though Hansen had drastically overpredicted global warming. No, scenario A is draconian emission cuts. So it should make it seem the other way. Okay, that seems confusing. Okay, well, what have I got so far? Okay, let's say the Game of Thrones makes it. Although I feel like people who follow Game of Thrones will have got the news already. That's a Trump favorite. Harley now feels the pinch for trade war. Okay, maybe not that title was the one that was telling me. It was saying that the title I saw was about how. Let me go get it. Let me go get the nicer sounding title. Less Trump focused. Um, where is it here? Oh, is this on positive? No, it's on neutral. Hardly. Yeah, this is a nice title. Okay, we're putting that in. It's that's a nicer title. Okay. So first article: Harley to shift production out of U.S. to avoid EU's tariffs. Fox. Next one is a new Super volcano is bring under Massachusetts, Vermont, and New Hampshire. Then FTC won't be neutral on net neutrality. Maybe is this making it? Oh, this is exclusive to members, so we can't see it. Not making it. Although we got 3 hills. Okay, so only one of these is gonna make it. Canada to allow mail order marijuana sales. Emails indicate Pruitt tried to recruit oil execs for EPA jobs. Boston school superintendent resigns one day after lawsuit claims school system shared student immigration info with IC. I think this one is interesting because it's about a school system. It's about the IC. Um, it's about Boston. It's about the law. Um, it's very. Anyways, I think it's pretty interesting. So let's say that one for now. Oh, these guys tracked my IP. I visited their site once. They're targeting me in advertisement. I wish I could block it. The so 4 articles with this one I'm not too happy about. So let's keep looking. Okay. Well, this one was interesting, but I need to read it more. 30 years ago. Closest to Hensa scenario B. Okay. Well, seem pretty similar. And it says climate model. It shows that climate model is correct. Sorry, it comes from fossil fuels. Oh, okay. That's pretty strong. Where is it talking about in the Model A, though? Because the Model A part was where it was getting me confused. Scenario. Okay, scenario A. Okay. In his presentation, the ones closest to reality are an only should scenario to make it seem that it had drastically overpredict global warming. But scenario A is pollution, draconian emission cuts. In scenario C, business as usual, heavy pollution in scenario A. Okay, that makes more sense. It's the automated summary that was messed up. All right, I mean it's interesting. All right, so that might make it. Let's see another one if it can let trump the Game of Thrones article. Um, rolling out of red carpet Cleveland's surprise announcement. Okay, British National War Defense saving medal for heroism to. Okay, British National awarded Finland's life-saving medal for heroism. Okay. Hopes to be team captain this season. You know what? I guess the Game of Thrones article is restricted from playing in your location. Okay. Alright, well, this is going to make it. Game of Thrones is going to make it. Maybe in last. So, the articles of today, Tuesday, or June 26th, are the Harley Davidson one, the super volcano in northeast USA one, the 30 years later deniers are still lying about Hansen's amazing global warming prediction, the Hill's article about Boston school superintendent resigns one day after lawsuit claims school system shared students' immigration info with ICE, and the Game of Thrones stars Kit Harington and Rose Leslie just got married in real life. Sorry. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time, tomorrow, for another screening of the Daily Snap Picks. Have a nice day.